good morning, and welcome to another week of the Gabfest. I think we're gonna come to an end with explaining who is who.
I mean, yeah, guys,
Same people. Just jumping into it.
Same people,
same faces every week. We have me, your host, Evangelique Adams, my co-host, Anka Hendricks, and our newest member,
co-host.
Coco. I was like, oh, Coco?
Yeah, I think about that every time you say Coco.
I actually don't know your surname, eh?
Me?
Yeah.
Boyson.
Oh, yeah. How can I forget? It's Leandra's without the S.
Please. Leandra's is with an S.
We have Cleo Boyson.
Yes, please leave the S off mine.
Yes, and Leandra's always like, there is an S.
Yeah. She's always telling us, guys, it's been how many years? You can at least spell it right with the S.
With the S. She says Boyson's with the S. So you must say Boyson's with the N.
Without the S.
Anyway. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another Gabfest. Today, we were laughing just before the show started because Cleo is like, I was sharing some tea.
Spilling tea.
Spilling tea. Yeah. How do you share tea?
I ain't sharing my tea, sorry gals.
But we are spilling some tea. If you want to spill some tea, just don't mention who spilled the tea.
Guys, please, disclaimer, no names.
No names. If you guys have anybody, you want to share some stories in the comments.
Come from the viewers.
Yeah, some spilling can come from the viewers.
Yeah.
Spill them tea.
I have some stories, but it's nothing with too much drama.
Nothing too juicy.
Yeah.
But guys, really, if you're out there and you want to join in the chat, we're happy to read your comments and then hear what your opinion is as well, Be part of it.
Yeah, be part of it. So today's topic, guys. Who was saying they're excited for today's topic?
I said I'm looking forward to it.
I actually got an SMS earlier. Oh, not SMS. Who
SMS?
I got a WhatsApp earlier that was saying, Lady S, if you're online, she's like, I'm so into today's topic, but I'm in a meeting. I'll see how I can listen. So
it's called earphones, Lady S. Sneak it in there.
Sneak in your earphones. Okay, so today we're talking about friendship as an adult, right? We do know as adults now, there's adulting.
Yeah, it's real, guys.
It just becomes more complicated.
It's just.
Is there such a thing though? I'm just asking for a friend.
Excuse the topic.
Yeah. I'm asking for a friend. Is there such a thing as friendships and adulting? I'm just. No.
For me,
into it.
With friendships, like I take it as seriously as a relationship, and I think sometimes people think that's a bit weird, but for me, it's like all or nothing. And I don't understand how, I admire people that can have these large groups, but for me personally, I don't have the capacity to nurture a lot of friendships. Yeah.
But can you truly, for me,
are they truly friendships?
Yeah, are they acquaintances?
Okay, sorry. So you're saying there's a difference when you're asked, can you have a friendship as an adult? There's a difference between friends,
yes,
and friendship.
Yes, let's differentiate to say acquaintances, because I think we've come to the generalized term as, oh, she's my friend, oh, I know her. But
no, people throw that word around too easily.
Do you, or is it an acquaintance? And how do we define friendships? I'm asking for a friend yet again.
We define friendships as somebody that's supposed to be there for you and you be there for them at a give and a take.
Definitely, it needs to be an equal amount of, obviously depending on what you're going through at that time in your life, sometimes you can only give your 20%, but then that's when they come through with the 80%. I feel like there always needs to be that balance for it to be fair, and for it to be fulfilling.
And there's some people that you yourself, you give, and when it's time for them to give, it's like I'm out of here.
Yeah.
See you again next time. I have a very bad experience with that.
I think for me personally, I view it of how I am in the way of how I am myself, right? So I'm very low maintenance. So I've got very, very few friends, and 90% of my 3 friends that I have, right?
90% of the 3.
1 out of 3.
So like, I don't have just 3 friends, but my point that I'm trying to bring across is that I have very few friends, and the few friends that I do have is either in a different country or a different city altogether, some of them. And then we barely see each other, and when we do see each other, it's as though we've been seeing each other. Like, when we do catch up.
But those friendships are much more easier than because there's no fighting in between.
There's no fighting.
But then I sometimes question that in terms of if we had seen each other every day, would our friendship have been able to last the time that it is lasting?
So for me personally, the friends that I do have in the different countries, they've made the effort towards me, and there I must take my out. Like my friend in Cape Town, she even followed me to the States, and we've been friends ever since. But we don't talk every day. When we did live in one like city, we were with each other like every single weekend. We were like that, but dynamics are different now. You're an adult. In my specific situation is I'm married, I have kids, and which is why I'm asking, is there such a thing as actual friendships, or friendships in the sense that you gab, you always together? Do those things exist
where you can actually open up?
Yeah, like girlfriend, we need to go for a coffee, or she's at my house every other day. I don't have that. Like literally the only person I have that with is yours truly. Da 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 da.
And that's only happened recently. Because if you do watch the show, you know that we didn't have a relationship at all until it got to a point where
let's say it's been a year and a half, where we do. And before that, you must imagine the immense
opposite.
And get this, we were staying literally 2 minutes drive away from each other when we didn't spend time. Then when we started spending all that time together, we lived an hour apart, and we saw each other every single day. So for me,
I was about to say that's where that give and take comes, because I always tease her because she stays 57 kilometers away.
Guys,
but every day I was visiting her, and in the whole year of me staying 57 kilometers away, she came twice.
Look,
sus on you.
No, guys.
But shame, like we said, it's a give and take. When I come, I get supper. So
nice.
I was about to say, there's a balance. Look, there's a balance in everything in life, right? And then the kids were always on this side. Our kids were always together, and so she sacrificed her hours. But there was benefits at the end.
But you see, that's also what I find interesting, is that sometimes, because you guys are like related technically, so there is that relation, but you still have a friendship within that. So you can have people that's family members, but you're not really friends.
There is that element. Sorry, I mean to say yes. There is that element that, as much as your family, if you're not friends at the core, if you don't view each other as friends, you're not gonna spend time around the fire with one another. You're not gonna be at family events with one another. So friendship is a thing. Even siblings, if you're not friends with your siblings, it doesn't happen. You're like, we're related, I have to be there, but
I
really want to be.
Do you?
I
so
get that.
What's the difference between is there a difference in friendship via WhatsApp? I think that's also put
I
a
don't
lot
like
of
this virtual
strain.
thing. I must just
I'm not a typer.
Yes.
And I don't like the drama WhatsApp brings to friendship.
Yeah, I feel like, if I'm honest, I feel like social media and WhatsApp and all those things, it makes people lazy. Because
go the extra mile.
Exactly. It's
So
a quick
for
way
you-
to keep in touch.
For you, it feels lazy. For me, it's something else. So give
For
your
you,
point
it's,
first.
It's probably
Can
much
you give
easier.
your point first?
I'll give my point. If I'm honest, I've been somebody that's always struggled with friendships. Like, I've never, even growing up, I never felt there was like a group or like a place where I belonged with someone. So when I find people, I go all out and I expect the same. So I know it might seem like high maintenance, but I own it fully. Like, I can't call you my friend and then I hear from you now and then. Like, we need to keep in touch. Like, if like our schedules are not aligning and we can't physically see each other, I want us to keep in touch at least once a week. Hey, how's things?
Yeah.
Just to know, like, if you're my friend, I want to know what's going on in your life. You must know what's going on in mine. We share things. The bond must always like, we must work on it, because it is work.
Yeah, friendship is work, you're right.
Yeah, so I don't like this, like every 2 months, I comment on a status of yours. Or, for me,
Then
that's
I'm at
not
the bottom
friendship.
of the food chain.
No, but people have different requirements for friendships, you know.
So with me, with my WhatsApp, you again see it as, okay, it is maintenance, but there's at least that there's a pop in. I'm extremely bad
Yeah.
with WhatsApp.
Don't say extremely bad.
I'm bad.
No, she's bad.
But I can pick up a phone. It's
Yeah.
your problem if
I
you
love
don't
a phone
answer.
call.
I prefer a phone call over WhatsApp.
Yes, me also. Because then you said what you needed to say and you heard the person's voice and basically the mood they're in, as opposed to just
And trying to figure out what you're trying to say.
You didn't put the smiley there. Was it
Yes.
an upset message?
And then it's like you have a new thought, now you must add. So
Yeah.
I had that also. I had a friend where that was our communication style, where it's like paragraphs. And
Typing
Yes. And I
Okay.
just,
in front of the computer.
no, like on your phone, and it was long, and then you add in a new thought or something new happened today. Now you add that in, and then on your day, like throughout your day, you don't have that 10 minutes to now respond to this paragraph, so it spreads over a week, and it just wasn't really
I
working
was
for
about
me.
to say, how did that work
It
out
was
for you?
not working. I must be honest, that was my communication style for a long time, and it's something that I had to work on. And that's also where I grew as a person, and I decided I don't actually want this. So with this specific friend, like, it was almost like dating. It was going really well. We were doing the talking stage, we were going on dates, and then I was also somebody, to my own detriment, that I would sit on issues for a long time instead of addressing it immediately, and that's also something that I had to work on. So eventually I decided, okay, let me bring this up, and I was so excited. I was like, yo, this is going to be the first time I'm talking about something with a friend of mine, and we're going to work through it, and everything is going to be fine. But she was just not having it. She's like, you know what, we had this argument, and like we haven't spoken since, but that was just like a moment for me where I learned that this is how I need things to be, and the typing and long paragraphs and stuff, I can't. And I don't know how you guys do it, because you guys have kids and a whole lot of things going
You'll
on.
get the reply a week from now.
So that
see,
goes
if you
in
do get
perfect
it.
with Lady A says, hey, I am here. So, I don't want to read both her comments so that it goes into a flow, because she's bringing up certain things. But the one she is saying is, we need to view disagreements with friends as conflict that can be resolved,
Yes.
not fights. And that's exactly what you're saying. Why can't I say my concerns and not turn it into a...
Because it festers and it becomes resentment. Just deal with it now.
It does, but I think a lot of it has to do with you and being self-aware as a person. I think a lot of the time some people don't know how to bring up something, and then you're like, yeah, but why don't they just talk? Why don't they just talk? Because you're saying, why don't they just talk? You know? I think it's a lot of times, and you know,
I'm thinking of marriage when you say that.
yeah, you know, it's the exact same
It is the
concept.
same, yeah.
But for me, it was a matter of, I know that I'm extremely low maintenance. Like, you won't hear from me because I don't do WhatsApp checkups or whatever. And maybe a month or two from now, I'll be like, hey, what are you doing? And it's really not because I forgot about you. It's just life. You know, I've got kids, I've got school. It's really just life. And then I sit and I think to myself, Mara, did you check up on me? You know, I didn't get a WhatsApp, so why am I feeling, you know? And that's why I haven't had many friends. I haven't had the ones that are still there. No, it's just Anka, nothing personal.
Yeah.
You know, I'll text Vange, ne? I don't get a reply. I didn't see it yet. Nothing personal. We know our lives.
There's
are
that
personal.
understanding, and you guys
But that's
have
where
that
I feel like
communication.
we're friends. Going back to my issue with WhatsApp, if you call yourself my friend, know my personality as well. The same way I know your personality, I take everything with a pinch of salt based on that is how she is. But I feel like if you know that's how I am, let's not blow it up
and blow it
out of proportion. And then it becomes a thing where I feel like this relationship is high maintenance. I'm out.
Yeah.
I hate high maintenance.
It makes you tired. Like, let's just take birthdays, for instance. And I know that this is a sore topic for some people. Like, you must post. Now, those who know me, I don't post. And the reason I don't post, and some I don't post on purpose. Let me
Wow.
no. Let me explain myself, guys. So there are random birthdays I do remember, but I don't post them purposely. The reason why, because I don't want to offend the rest that I didn't post throughout the year.
That's the other thing.
So it's not a matter of, I don't like you. No, it's like, you know what? I need peace in my life. Me, I like peace always. So I don't post.
But you remember those people's birthdays without Facebook, isn't it?
Some of them. I'm very bad with birthdays. I'm really, really very bad with birthdays. I think the only people that I genuinely remember is my 2 daughters, Aisha and my husband.
Yeah.
But, you know, I genuinely remember, like, I'm really not good with dates and remembering. I mean, I have a friend. She has a lot of children. She literally...
How many is a lot?
She has 6 kids. Wow. She's a beautiful person, and what she does, birthdays is a thing for her. So she sent me reminders in the beginning of the year. I shame on the day I still come. So what's happening today?
Oh no!
But she hasn't chucked me out of her house yet. Yet, because I know how she feels about it. And I really try, and she's like, but I sent you the message. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying. I'm really working on that.
Yeah.
You know, because they remember my kids' birthdays. So I think it's important for them. So it's something that I'm very bad at it, but I do try.
But you're owning it. That's the other thing.
But here's the other thing. It's one thing owning it.
I was about to say.
And then just leaving it there. Yeah, but I'm owning it, man.
Yeah.
Just leaving it on the
flaky
shelf.
and it's okay.
Yeah, you
like
know.
that.
No, it's not okay. For friendship, I think, yes, come both ways. If you're expecting that person to come to you, then, you know, you come halfway as well. But going back to the original topic about birthdays, if you know that's who I am, don't take it personal and now delete me. I don't get that. We're adults. Why are we deleting and blocking each other on social media?
Yeah.
Because we haven't posted for birthdays, or we haven't.
Oh, that happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Or you didn't say hi or reply to something. You're like, but I'm busy. So you could have given me a call. If it was that important to you, why didn't you give me a call? I'll give you a call back. You know, that kind of thing. So I think it's important. We're adults now. Let's run with the pace.
Yeah.
And I mean, it changes as you grow.
It does. With me, I'm again the person, like, I do post, but there's times where I don't have my phone at all. Like right now, I don't have my phone.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. They think you use it as an excuse, I don't have my phone or something like that.
No.
But my personality, even if I didn't post it, I end up buying a gift. You'll always get a gift, and you'll always get quality time. To me, that's more important than a post. I've lost a friend because of a birthday where I was like, I bought you a gift where I took money that was supposed to be for something else, and there was no shops open, and it was during COVID. There was no shops open. The shop that was open, I mean, I could get this gift somewhere else for much cheaper, but I paid almost 600 Rand for a gift. It might not have looked like it was 600 Rand, but that's how I show my appreciation. I spend a day with you, I do that. And still the fight at the end of the whole thing was about posting. And for me, I felt like, if that is our friendship and where it's going from there, I don't know, do I want this kind of friendship? And then that's where, slowly as time goes, I feel like, why do I have to try? I have the people that's right around me. I have Lee. We were speaking about cousins just now, that you don't have to be friends. With our situation, it's again different. I see her as a friend, not as family, if that makes sense. So I feel like there needs to be some sort of things from a friend as well. And then that's when you question, is it really a friend? You're getting upset for a post, but you don't see the gift and the quality time. And for me...
For clarity, to make sure like I am on the same page, is it a thing of like you didn't post?
I
Why
didn't
you
post.
post about me for my birthday?
Yes.
Okay.
So there was that.
But there was a call. Like, you did call
There
her.
was a call and everything.
So it's more a thing of why you're not showing other people that you're my friend, kind of a thing.
I don't know, but I think...
I just wanted to jump on that to ask, like, then you question the motive. You as a person, you ask yourself, why am I in this friendship? Like, what is it? Because as much as you feel like the other person must bring something to the table, you should also bring something to the table. Now you're sitting in this friendship and you're asking, why am I in this, right? Am I in this to show the world I have a ton of friends? which is why I'm being reposted? Or what is it really? Or do I want to be associated with someone because of other reasons? So you need to post me because your people need to see we're friends. Is it that? I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if it is the case. But I think it's important that you then go back and revisit your why. Why are you in a friendship with this person?
Yeah.
Like for me, friendship is a very, like, not a sore topic, but a very high priority topic for me. Or rather, priority, just leave it as priority as opposed to a topic. Because when I become friends with somebody, they in turn get to see who I really am.
Yeah.
Yes.
They get to see the barest parts of me, and I am exposed. It's like, and I always say this when I invite someone into my house. I can take anyone to sit at McDonald's. I can take anyone to go sit at a restaurant, right? And we can have a conversation. But if I bring you into my house, that is the highest honor I can bid you, because everything is exposed. My personal space is exposed. My kids is exposed. So that's the highest honor I bid you. That's the same thing with friendship for me. If I allow you into my personal space, I'm naked, basically. I'm unguarded. So for me, it's a very serious thing to say, okay, this is my friend.
I agree.
And I take friendship serious in terms of people are in your life for a season, yes. We don't have to be friends until the day I die. But sometimes you're friends with someone just to get through a certain part in your life, or you help them through a certain part in your life. But other than that situation, you then have nothing left in common. Like if you were to help me with something. But one thing that also happened to me that hurt me afterwards, if I think about it now, is that I had a friend as well. And when Scarlett went deaf, I only told one specific friend that Scarlett went deaf. And that friend, the day I told her Scarlett went deaf was the last time we spoke. Wow. So for me, there's also that of you think... this is my go-to.
Yeah.
You think those kind of things, which then also plays a role in the topic of if you're in a relationship with friends. Because now we were friends with these people as a couple, and they were a couple. And then further down the line, you and your partner start arguing because you had a fight with the wife, maybe, or the thingy.
Yeah, it's just toxic now.
So what I'm trying to say is, for me, there's a reason why I don't want to see these people, because you were not there for me in that time. You're the only person that knows about this whole situation, and you go quiet on me. So that also hurts when it comes back, when it says we don't have friends because you're always fighting with the woman. And that's why I made the comment yesterday. They say women can't be friends because it's always involved with drama. But what makes drama? Is it being... I mean, like when you become an adult, there's certain things as a friend you take responsibility.
Yeah.
And as a friend, if I go through something, the same way if you go through something, we're supposed to be there for each other. When does it get what's the word for it? Where it is not...
misconstrued?
Yeah, that I actually wanted you to be there. Do you not see you're the only person that knew about it? Versus, she's being ugly with me. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I hear you. I think communication is extremely important in that sense. Like, if you're expecting something from someone, let them know. So that...
That is letting someone know. Letting someone know you're the only person that knows is letting someone know.
Like actually saying the words, you're the only
example.
person. Yeah.
But for me, it's a matter of why is this person there? So now this separates the women from the girls. You know, we always say the boys from the men, the women from the girls. So here's the thing. Why are we in this friendship? Are they in this friendship because our husbands are friends, or our male counterparts are friends, or is it a matter of this person's there out of what they can get from you? Now there's a bit of drama attached, and what I mean by a bit of drama, there's now I need to support now. I need to be
and you maybe did not ask for that in the beginning of the friendship.
But then it was never a friendship. Then it was just an acquaintance. I know you. I know of you. I don't know you, but I know of you. But I'm telling everyone, oh nee, ons ken mekaar. We know each other. No, we chill together. You know, so and such. Meantime, you guys don't know each other, and there's a big element to knowing each other, is knowing who this person is, what makes them tick. And it's vice versa. As much as you have a love language and you have a love language, I have a love language too, and we need to speak each other's languages in order to understand each other. Because if we're only speaking one way, I will never be heard. I will never feel like, oh, this friendship is going two ways. It's just going to feel like, yo, but this is draining because I must keep giving and keep giving and keep giving, but nothing's giving back to me. So I think it's important that and it's sometimes difficult for us as women because we are emotional beings and we do get emotionally involved into something. And I mean, that for me was the biggest thing. We do overthink. But for me, I think where I started feeling so lonely in Joburg was I moved out here. And I didn't have any friends. And we befriended a few people here. And I think we were about 8 months, not pregnant, married. I was pregnant, but married. We were about 8 months married. And I was so excited because these people, you know, they were so inviting. And we want to spend Sundays together and we're going to do things together. And we had a little bit of an incident at home. Me and Xavier, we were like newlyweds, so conflict was still a thing, and you know we had a bit of there was a bit of tension. We didn't exchange words or anything. There was a bit of you could see it's a sirege, and Xavier went to the room and he's like, baby, can you come help me with something here in the room quickly? And we were literally in there for 2 minutes, and we sorted our thing out, and and we came out and everything was as per normal. A couple of weeks later, I must just, I was slamming doors, I was rude, I was disrespectful. And that just made me realize, and that's where the concept came from, I'm exposed, this is the highest honor. And then you ask yourself, wait, does friendship look like this? Is this what adulting friendship looks like? I have to be guarded the whole time.
Was that the conversation amongst the four of you, or did you hear that from
I heard it from the grapevine.
Oh no.
I heard from the grapevine on that day you did this and you did. I'm so me and my husband are looking at each other and we're like, were you there when this happened? Were you there? Because
something's not adding up here.
Something's not adding because I don't think none of us were there when this happened. Maybe just them were there, the two of them were there. And this was in my home. And for me it was I don't want people to come into my home and say they're my friends and tomorrow I must just, there were 3 panties on the washing line and the third one.
The third one had a hole in.
You want that protective friendship as well. So I think, and we get so emotional involved, and I was so excited for that friendship. And that hurt just I'm not, all Joburg people are like this. I don't want any Joburg friends, and I was young at the time. After that, I had to sort of start scouting out. Okay, I like this about this person.
And now you were on guard with everyone else.
Everyone. So everyone was a suspect. And it's that's shady. Moving along. I don't like that. The way she stirs a tea. It's not for me.
What if you spot that one red flag and you're like, I'm out?
I'm out, yeah. And then later I had to realize that it's extremely lonely. But the reason why it's extremely lonely is because I'm too guarded now. Now I'm not allowing anyone into my space. I mean, how long did we not even take to just get to...
6 years.
Wow. Are you going to come over to my house?
Yeah.
It took very long. And yes, we both share our shares in what happened in our relationship. But yes, a big part of that was me also. So it's a matter of, you come to a point where you say, okay, fine, some things is not worth fighting for, fighting with. Some things is not that big a deal. Speak to each other when it's needed, but really you don't need to mention everything and nitpick everything.
And the thing is, people don't forget those bad things.
They don't.
And that's an important thing. You need to work through it, because if the reason why you can't move past it is because you haven't worked through it. It's important.
So I was watching a podcast. I think it actually was a TED Talk by Dr. Adam Dorsey, however you would say it. And he has 5 ideas about adult friendships, right? So I thought, you just brought up the loneliness now. One of the things is loneliness as an adult. The difference, how loneliness can be lethal, and that's why we need friends, right? But not the solitude people, what you were speaking about, that I choose to be without someone. More the loneliness.
I want to be with
I
How
someone.
do
wanna
you
be
tell
with
the
someone.
difference, like, between being like an introvert and liking your alone time and being lonely?
The thing is, if it's a choice or not.
Yeah.
If you're choosing that I don't want people around me, versus I want friends but I have nobody to speak to.
Because I'm an
Yeah.
introvert myself. So I recuperate on my own.
But don't you also feel like maybe sometimes you get so used to being on your own that you actually don't realize that you could benefit from more
From having
relationships?
people around you.
Yeah.
My personal experience is there's so many times I'm like, "Phew, the day was too much. I've been around, and we're always around people. Then I'm like, I need
You
to
need to
I need
recharge.
to recharge. So usually Mondays, I'm literally alone at home just to recharge so that I can just make it through the day. And then there are sometimes on a Monday when I'm busy recharging, I'm like, I actually really need to speak to somebody. Like, I actually really... Now, this is where my mom comes in. Like, we'll speak, we speak like 5 times a day. So if Evangelique's not there, then, I'm on FaceTime, and when it's load shedding, then it's like, okay, so...
What do I do now?
What now?
Who do I speak to now? So I do feel, and it's an actual feeling of being alone. It's a lonely feeling.
Yeah, you feel it.
Yeah.
For me personally, I go into a depression when I'm alone. I start losing hope in terms of what my dreams are, because I feel like I'm quiet the whole day. There's nobody that's not necessarily that I expect you to push me if you were around me,
Yeah.
but just like that form of connection. If I don't have that, I go into this whole, should I go sleep?
So is that like your requirements that you have for your friendships? Or like
I
from
don't,
your
it doesn't
friends?
even have to be a friend. My personality enjoys being around people.
Okay.
Even if we're not speaking to each other, I want to know there is
Yeah.
someone there with me.
So a lot of the times when I need to do something, me and Vange will be in the car, but we won't say anything. It's just us being in the car together.
You
It's
see,
just
those are
not
the
a
kinds
lonely
of
thing.
friendships I like. I don't really enjoy being around like the people that feel they need to fill the silence.
Yeah.
Just
It's
because
tiring.
Enjoy it,
Yeah.
yes.
It's tiring and high maintenance. You're like, but not everyone can read the moment. I think the longer you are friends, the longer
Yeah,
you
it comes with time.
It comes with time.
Okay, so I found also based on the whole loneliness thing, research shows that based on a quality relationship, it improves recovery time when you're sick.
Wow.
That's
And-
cool. Yeah.
It improves, you live longer if you have relationships.
Because man's
That I
not
can
made.
believe.
Yeah, because man's not made to be alone. We're not. We're not made to be an island. And I can see what that, because that encouragement, that hope, like you just said, you sort of like lose hope. You kind of lose track of what you planned or whatever, because there's not that constant
Yeah.
jarring on and say, okay, so what's next?
Yeah.
Where are we gonna go next?
So you live longer. If you are sick, you heal faster. Is it also because that support structure is there? You're not, because if you do feel lonely, you feel sick. Like,
Yeah.
like you somehow have a headache or something.
Someone yell under the
Yeah.
weather.
But I also I'm a firm believer that the relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for your other relationships. And like with me, especially when I was in high school, I had a very toxic relationship with myself. So I was surrounded by toxic people. And those were some of the worst times of my life. And I had the most friends, but
Surrounded
just-
by everyone. But
yeah, but there was no connection, there was no support, and like I had to learn, like some people are just not your friend.
Yeah.
They will act like they are, and they
Yeah.
will do all the right things, but you just have to be aware
yeah.
of what's actually going on. And that's why, like I was saying to you guys earlier, like I like to keep my circle small, but it's not like a snobby thing or anything like that. It's just it's
I'm
difficult
with
to
you.
Over
maintain it.
quantity.
Yes. That is it's a sentiment of mine. Yes. I wouldn't like to relive my high school days. My friendships were
no.
atrocious. So, I mean, I don't speak to half of my high school friends because I was accused of doing something and I was the last one to find out. Till this day, I'm like, but it wasn't a rumor because it was true. And a rumor was spread. Someone said I spread it.
Yeah.
I found out after the fact that I spread it. I'm the last one to find out that.
Don't you just love when you hear from other people about your own actions?
Yeah, about your own actions. And then the whole group shunned me. I was just the black dot for my last year of high school. Till this day, I'm like, but I'm confused. So why are we upset with one random person when it's true? You did catch on the nonsense, there is evidence.
I hated my high school friends. No, not friends.
I
I hated my high school as well in terms of the time I was in with the kind of friends, but I must say school friends, because there was one specific friend I was really close to, and she broke all trust, as in all trust. And to see who she is today, you're like,
yeah,
you're a pastor?
Wow. 180.
So people change.
I know people change, but when you know somebody hurt you to an extent where it affects you the rest of your life, it is difficult to or at least come back and apologize after your 180 degree.
Is it normal for you to go to somebody to come to you after 10 years and be like, hey, by the way, I'm sorry about
it. Is normal.
I think
you should do it.
Because I feel like I owe some people those.
Then you say sorry. Because like I say, this
closure.
specific friend, she influenced a lot that happened in my life afterwards based on what she did.
Okay.
And I feel like I'll get over it. If she comes and just say, that happened, I'm so sorry I did that. That was wrong of me.
So I've got some tea to spill.
Spill it.
I'm not sure if I should spill it, but let's spill it. So I had this high school sweetheart boyfriend and whatnot, and we'd broken up because obviously we religiously we didn't see eye to eye and going on. We were young, and one of my very close friends, I'm talking about, we grew up since diaper days. She started becoming weird with me, and I didn't understand why. For years I didn't. She distanced herself from me, and she threw herself onto the bandwagon of the other people accusing me of something, and I didn't understand why. I couldn't understand for the longest time. And this boyfriend that I'd broken up with, he kept on saying, why? He just couldn't understand. I'm like, I think you just don't understand because you don't understand where I am spiritually. Fast forward 4 to 5 years down the line, me and my friend, we rekindled our friendship and all of that, and we're sitting in her flat, and we're all in college and whatnot, and she starts crying, profusely crying, and I don't understand why, I don't know why. And she's like, remember that time when you broke up? I'm like, yeah. She said, well, something had happened physically between the two of them, and she had lost her virginity during that time. And she thought I'd known. But I looked at her with I wasn't upset. I wasn't hurt either. I think it was more sympathy, because I wouldn't have wanted it to be like that for her, because I was saving myself. I wasn't letting go of anything because I was saving myself for my husband. And I knew we had the same sentiments of that specific issue. And she spoke to me, but then there was a certain release, because she said, I needed to apologize to you. This was on my mind and my heart for the longest time, and which is why I just couldn't do certain things with you anymore. And the release after that, we kept our friendship going for years still. And I think it's more, if you need to say sorry, then I think it's more for you, and the release also for you to say, okay, fine, let me let this go, and also bring closure to that person. So I think it's very important, even if it's 10, 15 years down the line. Go bring that closure for both of the two of you.
But I think also don't put pressure on the other person to
forgive you.
Yeah, to forgive you, or even speak to you, or even respond.
There shouldn't be that expectation,
Okay, so the next one was obviously invest in friendship, right? Treat your friend as an A-lister. So we were speaking about that earlier, about if you give it, you give it your all, kind of a thing. Show up, and this is where what I was explaining just now, where he says, show up, put away your phone, and spend time together. That's my kind of friendship.
Yeah, there's so many, my good friends, we barely even have pictures together, because when we're together, we are spending time together. We're not worrying about
a picture and
trying to post out the whole time and write up, ooh, my bestie for the longest time we're together. But
you're saying bestie, Auntie Sanya says, I don't like the term bestie, because for me it is so deep, and sometimes people can't live up to what the word bestie means, basically.
Yeah, that actually
I can't see really, so carry on going. So I just
So sometimes I don't have. Oh, this is when we were speaking about you must call, and she said sometimes I don't have airtime to call my friends, so we cool with the typing, the typing thing because we value the friendship. So that's true. We don't all have airtime, and then you're referring to the reciprocity. Yeah,
of relationships. I think
English
that was when I
never
was
loved us.
struggling to figure out that word that I
Yes.
was trying to sing, the miss.
I think, like we're saying, like there's no right or wrong. As long as both parties involved in the friendship are on the same page about this is what I need as a person or as a friend,
Yeah.
and this is what I expect of you. Not that it. I feel like you shouldn't have expectations of people, but you need to have standards.
Yeah.
You can't just be out here. People are walking in and out of your life as they please.
It's a relationship. A
Yeah.
So that
friendship
goes
is
to
a
the next
relationship.
point about being friendships have limits too. Friendships know better. Friendships know better. Friendships do better when we know what the other one expects.
Yeah.
So it's like dating.
It is like
is like
dating.
dating.
It's an actual give and take. What do you do in dating? You give and you take. It's the exact same thing. So, and this is what I say when we do marriage counseling, is that, when you communicate, you need to communicate with understanding. And the same goes for a friendship. So if I'm going to tell you how I feel about you, you should be able to do the same, but it shouldn't be but you make me feel this way, and you didn't call back or you didn't post me. It should be, you know what, Evangelique, when, I feel about my birthdays is like a really big thing for me, and I feel special like when you do post. So it kind of did hurt me a little bit, but I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yes, but Anka, that I'm not the type of person, and not just that, I wasn't with my phone the whole day, but I do take my out, and I am sorry. And can we spend some time together?
That's the thing. It's so important how you deliver the message, because that's what happened with me with that friend I told you we had the argument. Because I was so new to bringing things up, I just went all out. My timing was off. The words I chose was off. So I own that, and I take responsibility for that. And sometimes I even just want to phone and be like, hey, are you still mad? But at the same time, I'm also just going through my own things right now, and I know that I cannot nurture.
I think I'm
friendships
psycho like
right
that.
now.
Like, I'll literally just call you and say, are we still upset with each other?
Is that a psycho thing to do?
No, like, you know how they, no, let me explain
I would do
myself.
something like that.
Like, you know how sometimes, I don't know if this only happens to me, I might be weird. So sometimes, like, we'll have an argument or something, not an argument, but like something weird, and you're like, okay, but are we arguing now? And then the next time I see it's like, but we was not arguing. Like, but we know there was something, but in my mind, literally, but we must didn't really argue.
I don't like those unturned things. We must just...
So like, I'll just go back to you, like...
But also there's some friends where you do turn it out and they continue and continue and continue to go at it. Is there an elephant in the room? Is there an elephant in the room?
Oh, but
and
those
it's
people
like, did
like
we
drama.
not
They just
discuss
want
this
to fight.
already?
Close the
Why are we still going on about it?
Yeah, there must be a limit also, and I come back to what I said earlier about being self-aware. There's two entities in this whole thing. Yes, the other person did something, but what am I bringing to the table to resolve this? Because if I'm going to bring it up the whole time, how are we going to let
And
it
also
go?
just to ask yourself, what are you adding to that? If there is like a lot of negativity or drama going on.
Yeah, know your side as well, because it's not always just the other person.
Yeah,
Me and
definitely.
Lee always say, if it happens with everybody, don't you start questioning, is the problem not me?
It can't be everyone. And I always say this, you can run away from this friendship and go in there and go there and go. But the reality of the matter is, there where you go, there you are. So,
Yeah, and if
common
you're not
denominator.
fixing or like healing
Yeah.
those things in yourself, you're just going to attract people,
The
other
same
people
kind.
with the same kind
So-
of traits and stuff.
And then also I wanted to speak about the point of you obviously knowing your friend. Know though that, like, if you two are my friends, Anka is the friend that's gonna help me move boxes.
Yeah.
When I move, you're gonna help me carry up and down the stairs. But you're not gonna be the friend in a breakup that is gonna say, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Then you could be the friends like, I don't move boxes.
Yeah.
But
And like you
then if there's a
appreciate those
breakup,
differences.
you there every day with tissues and ice cream and come, let's go for coffee and those kind of things.
Yeah.
You as a person is also supposed to respect that
The
from a friend, the different
And
personalities.
you can't expect like if somebody's just not able to give you that
Yeah.
because it's not in their personality,
or their
just
love
forgive
language.
it. Yeah.
But I want to say that there's such a fine line with that, with that, and there's an element of that must be applied. However, I think it's very sensitive when, and I've experienced this, that, I've had friends and you're like, so what are you doing today? No, actually I have a meeting. And then you go into, like, you're just going out for a coffee with maybe a family member, and then the two friends are sitting. They're both your friends, but they're sitting there, and you're like, but I thought you said you had a meeting. Yeah, I'm having a meeting with, so you couldn't just say you're going out with coffee. Then with
the other friend,
yeah,
so you guys left me out and you're calling it a
like
meeting.
you two are going out for coffee and you're saying no, it's a meeting, and I'm like, okay, you couldn't just say that. Like, I would have understood if you just said me and Cleo is gonna go out for coffee.
Yeah.
And then you get the sense that, oh, okay, so I don't fall into that category. Like, you only have coffee with Cleo and I'm just the moving the box kind of friend. So what I'm trying to say is, you must understand the differences,
but also
when you do that things, be inclusive then, so that your friends know that you are my friends and I see you the same way, and I'd like to be seen with you in public. Like, not see I'm with this person in public, but seen with you together because you're my friends. We're all a group, but I understand your limits as well. So there is that fine line, because I've been
but when I said it, I didn't mean like only phone that friend because she move boxes.
Yeah,
I meant from the respecting if my friend says I don't move boxes.
So for our audience sake, to say don't differentiate between your friends like that on that level, because it leaves a sour taste in that person's mouth. Because for me, I've been in that situation. Oh, I don't discuss they're calling me to check me out, so why didn't you do this with Cleo, for instance?
Yeah.
And then I say, but then what did you to say about, oh no, I don't discuss my friends with other people. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty clear where I stand.
Share one of my stories once based on that. Once I was called into a meeting.
Intervention.
Yes.
Those things happen.
And I was shook. But they were lucky. I received Christ that Sunday. And it happened the same Sunday.
It's like I'm still on my
and I was literally cross-questioned about how I speak to one friend, to the other friend, to another friend. So it was why do you say love you after a phone call with one friend, but you don't do it with this friend? And then I was asked, why do you say miss you to this friend, but you don't do it with this friend? And in my head I was like, okay. Because I was told that I first got an email to the invitation. I got an invitation.
Wait, backtrack. How long ago was this? We just need to establish time.
I was in second year.
Okay, so it was long ago.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So but still kind of adults.
But
we didn't even do that in high school though.
But I was asked about why you do certain things like that. And in my head I was like, okay, the one you say you must, that's my personality is not to hi han.
Yeah.
But the more I'm with somebody, that's their personality. This one specific friend that we used to say love you after the phone call, we had like pet names for each other. So it came naturally when she says love you, I automatically say love you as well. And that's just because I don't do it with everybody. I mean, for me, guys, it's weird even if I say in the call with love you with my parents. It's not in me kind of a thing. But that I was called out
and
based
they were forcing
on
that on you now.
why don't I do it for, if I do for the one, I must do for the other. So
not creepy at all.
But then that's safe to say that was the last time we all chilled together. I took my out. 1, 2, 3, block
I
myself.
don't blame you.
I'm out. Cheers. Okay, then here's another interesting thing that came up through research, that friendships can boost your love life.
How? Okay, this is interesting.
Go ahead.
No, I just...
yeah, it is
You're
interesting.
like, it's interesting, but...
but there is a big but, because friendships can also mingle in your love life. They can also tell you...
No, we're speaking about positive. Remember what all those topics I'm speaking about is positive friendships.
Okay.
And why you need quality friendships.
Yes, okay.
You can put in your 10 cents about bad ones as well. But just based on my topics, my researches, is why we need good friends, okay? So it can boost your love life because it does not put strain on your partner's life. So if you have a quality friend that you can say A, B, and C to and help you in certain things. You don't just rely on your partner and expect them to be the person that does everything for you emotionally and physically. But if you have quality friendships, you can pull off some air.
It's like you're taking the load off your partner.
You're taking the load off your partner.
Okay.
And if you take the load off your partner, less fights, less we seeing each other as co-workers.
Yes.
And you have more time for...
There is an element. I mean, when I came here, I literally didn't have anyone. I was literally at home. I didn't know anyone. I didn't own a car. I didn't have a job. And Xavier would come home and and he started having this toy car hobby kind of thing. And I would get irritated. And I'm like, why are you playing with toys? And then he'd come home and now he's into just golf. And like, really? Like, we have kids at home. And he'd look at me, really, is this your life? Don't you want to find a hobby? Like, don't you want to find some friends? Don't you want to just do something like on a Saturday? Like, really, I'll go drop you if there's something you want to do. And as you go along, then you realize they need to blow off steam. And the reason why they need, and I was extremely needy in the beginning of our marriage because I didn't have anyone. And I didn't have a phone for a good year and a half because, I was robbed before the wedding and everything. So I was literally dependent on him. So it becomes a thing that there must be balance. You must have a good, healthy relationship, or friends that you can go sit with or go have coffee with, or that can just come and just chill at your house. Even if you're buying or it's not high maintenance, you have to like serve or whatever, you're just chilling. There's
a chance to be you outside of your relationship.
What about those when the partner has the friends and then they force you to now mingle with?
I don't play that.
You guys don't play those games.
I don't play that
I
game.
hate that because then Ashley even tells me what to say. So he's like, he gives me like a rundown and I'm like,
do you have cue cards?
You do know I can have a conversation. He's like, but I know your personality. I'm just worried you're going to stay at them. Like, are you seriously saying that?
I think that was in the beginning. That should have been in the beginning of your marriage. But now I think it's a lot different. For me, I just don't play that game. I try to appease Xavier.
Yeah.
But I've been in situations where like, ain't nobody got time for this. So I told him. So then he sort of like feels, but now I can't. I'm like, no, go be friends. You can go to their house, you can visit, but don't expect me to go. See you on the flip side. Like,
But there's also a limit to that, eh? I don't like also friends 24 hours. Don't use your friends as a scapegoat not to do responsible stuff.
I'll tell you, there's balance to everything. I'm like, gaan jy weer? What are you going to do there?
I can just picture you.
like there's balance, and I just don't play the game of your friends' wives. Because the reality of the matter is, as much as you two click, it doesn't mean we're going to click, and there's nothing wrong with that. If we're all in a situation together, we're at an event, hi, how are you? But that doesn't mean we have to chill together all the time. Because our personalities just don't. I've been in situations where I must suck out of my thumb a conversation because we're like,
And also, like with you guys are both married, right? How did you work around the friend situation when it came to your wedding? Like, did you guys have friends at the wedding? Was it a thing of like, if we haven't spoken in 6 months?
I always say this now. Our family is too big I couldn't invite most of my friends.
Okay.
Our family is way too big, and I tried not to invite family that you don't speak to, like you didn't speak to for a while, so that I could fit in friends. But then still, the family was way too big.
Yeah. That's not such a bad thing.
Yeah, but with some things you do want, we have a massive family. So, but with you saying that, I always say I'll never change my wedding. As in never change my wedding. I had so much fun with my bridesmaids. I had the best time of my life.
And they were all family?
No. They were the friends. They were the friends that were there.
And there's none that you have to like crop out of the wedding photos?
No, but listen, this is where we're going now. So I will never change my bridesmaids. I had the best bridal parties. We went out every week, and my dad would even say, I can't wait until this wedding is over so you can stop partying.
Yeah.
We just had a ball. I did pole lessons. We did lap dancing lessons. We did all those kind of things. It was so much fun. But I'm telling you, maybe 4 of my bridesmaids, the last time I spoke to them was my wedding night.
What?
But then when I fell pregnant, did try to rekindle. We speak every now and then, but as the rest, 2 were cousins, but I don't see them as cousins. Like I said, I see them as friends. But the rest, I'm telling you, I haven't spoken to since my wedding. But it doesn't make me feel like if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't have had them there. My photos, my wedding album is right there. Those girls are shining in those pictures.
Yeah.
They're there. It was just such a great experience that it doesn't anger me that we're not friends today.
It doesn't take away from the actual experience that you had leading up to that. For me, I invited all my people. Xavier invited all these people, and what we did was we had our wedding far away, so we knew if you made the effort, you really wanted to be there.
That's a good idea.
So what we didn't do was invite girlfriends and boyfriends. We were shunned for that, but today they're not together anymore, so they didn't feature in our pictures. And for us, I didn't have many friends. The one friend that I did have at the time, she wanted to be a bridesmaid. Well, she sort of like said she was going to be a bridesmaid, and then I just changed things, and then she just wasn't, and then she influenced a different friend, and they just never showed up, and then we just never spoke after that, and it was a toxic friendship in any case. So it was like, you know what, good riddance. It was good while it lasted. And my bridesmaids, hi shame, we're all still together.
Oh,
she only had 3 bridesmaids. I was one.
She had 11 or something. What? You had a lot.
11 bridesmaids.
No, I didn't.
Like
it
whole
was
show.
a lot, but the bridesmaids wasn't. I had like 8, or was it 6? And then
That's
another
so much
4.
less than 11.
And then I had 5, and then another 2 small ones. But like it
You
was
went
fun.
all out.
11
It was fun.
females and 11 males. So for me, and they all lived in a different. So Vange was here. My maid of honor was in Cape Town, and then my other lifelong best friend was in Namibia. So it was fun, and we still.
And all our dresses look different because Anka just sent us the material and the picture, but all our dressmakers did not see the same picture.
They didn't envision but it worked. And you could reuse
That's
the
the
dress.
memories.
That's the
At
memories.
least it was the same colors and the same material.
Yeah, same material. So, but I just couldn't do, and I tried, and I did the whole low maintenance because I couldn't do. I'm not a very good planner and putting things together. So I was like, you know what, the less, the better.
But before you not being married, but being with your boyfriend for so long and living together and everything, has that ever affected your friendships?
I think, if I'm extremely honest, if I look at my dating history, I would go through stages where, especially at the beginning of the relationship, where you just want to look into their eyes and you kind of not forget about other people, but you like block it out. And because you're like so loved up and stuff. But as you get older, that works out of your system. Or maybe it's just because it's been so long. I don't know. But I don't think it's affected my friendships. But if there was a person that my partner could see is not good for me, because sometimes you can't see it when it's right there, then I would have... Okay, actually, I had a male friend that was actually really not good for my relationship. And it all boiled down to respect and how the person, especially when it's the opposite sex, how they treat you and how they have, like the attitude they have towards your relationship. That can definitely, that cause a lot of issues. And sometimes you just need to let people go.
Did the friend like you?
Yes.
That's
I
why
don't know.
I honestly believe that
Cleo.
it doesn't work.
No comment.
And that doesn't play on my boat.
Yeah, no, looking back, I would have never
comment.
even...
I've only ever had, growing up, I only had guy-based friends. But we as women, and I'm taking us out, sorry guys, but we know.
Yeah, we know.
We know when, and
We have those spidey senses.
we know.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do try to justify it because we feel comfortable with this person. Not really, maybe not understanding the danger of it, but we know. So I've had to cut quite a few of my friends out. So there are a few of my guy friends that Xavier is friends with. So if he can't be friends with Xavier, then why are we in this? Like, why are we, then what is there to hide?
Now that's my thing. Babe, get over it. There's many girls that claim to be my husband's friend, but they don't follow me on Instagram. We're in the same room together. They never speak to me. There's no point of, if there is a phone call where they ask how you doing, and that doesn't play on my TV, and I make it quite
But it's better than being fake.
That's my thing.
But then
So
me as a person, we're in a relationship, don't entertain that
acknowledge the
friendship.
person.
Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I hear you.
As a man, I feel like that's where you cut your ties.
you ridicule me Nate, for being friends with my husband's exes, right? But we're friends.
How does that happen?
Yeah, you must go watch that show.
So
I'm gonna go watch that.
It's one of my very, very close friendships that I have, and we have that where I can literally just be myself. The funny things, we text each other and all of that. But there's a thing, she became my friend. She doesn't go text Xavier or they have a conversation. Her husband became Xavier's friends. Xavier would go pick him up or call him up or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a difference there. The dynamic is different in the sense that who's the friendship with now? Because you can't be best friend. I had a very good best friend growing up. He went with me to the States when I went to Bible school. We literally finished each other's sentences. People thought we were together, but we weren't. We were just really best friends. And he was dating someone that he kept away from me like for a good year. And the 2 weeks before he got married, it was a very rushed wedding. The 2 weeks before he got married, he told me he's getting married. And I'm shocked. I'm out of the... he hit me out of the ballpark. Because Ambush was someone that was cheated on. I was like, say what?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have minded, but at least let me in on the friendship from the beginning. And the night he got married, we spoke, and he's like, you're my best friend. I can't lose you. I'm like, but you didn't give me a choice. And I knew he's then, like that day became his wife, didn't like me. She obviously saw me as a threat. And I couldn't blame him because we had a very tight relationship. But I told him, you didn't give me a choice in this.
But the fact that he hid it tells me there was something else.
There was
I always
why?
say that you can say, I don't feel anything, but you don't know how the other person feels.
Yeah, that's true. But the crux of the matter is, I told him, you didn't give me a choice. I can't be that. Your wife needs to be your best friend now. If I can have a friendship with
And
your
if
wife...
she's worried about you, that tells you she knows
Something.
that her partner has eyes somewhere else
And-
or
and
something.
she's picking up some
genuinely, I wasn't romantically he was like a brother. He was a best friend. We spent a lot of time. He would sit in my house till 3 a.m. and we'd have deep conversations. But there was nothing romantically inclined. And I told him that you didn't give me the opportunity to get to know your wife so that she could get to know me, so we could be friends.
Yeah.
I don't have a place here. So that's the dynamic. If you can't incorporate it into your marriage where the female counterpart then becomes a friend, your friend, then no, there shouldn't be. There's no such thing
agree.
as
There's no
There needs
such
to
thing.
be like cards on display
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
day one.
So that I don't agree with, but yes, I am friends with my husband.
Yeah.
But I think I admire that, because so many people, when you hear something about a relationship, then you immediately like, oh, I don't want anything to do with this person because they dated my person. Like,
She
I-
knows
It's
how
kinda
I feel.
weird.
I don't agree with it.
Like-
I don't
I think,
agree with it.
just to clear some air, I think the dynamic that's different here for us, between us, is that when you date someone in Joburg, you're from Joburg, you see the people together. I was from a completely different country. I didn't see them together. So it
Okay.
was like, okay,
yeah.
I didn't. So it really didn't bother me. It still doesn't bother
play
me.
on my boat. Anyway, so he also ends off with saying how you take time to choose a friend. If you take more time in choosing a car than what you do in choosing a friend, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. I remember we actually had a conversation about that a few years ago, where we'd start with this oversharing, and you think that you're getting close with this person, but it's more like, are you telling them these things to try and like bring them in? Yeah. Or is it like a genuine kind
There
of...
is a connection.
Yes.
So
That's
he says
that's how
that.
you fast track it.
So he was also saying, based on that topic, studies show that you become the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. So why he says that you must take that long in finding a friend is because you become the average of the people you surround yourself with, is that if you're just friends with anybody that's not in the field, or not necessarily field, but you don't aspire to be like them. So your friends must always be someone you aspire, not always, but your quality ones must be someone you aspire to be, that when you're around them, you
They push you
become a
forward.
percentage of them,
Yeah.
the average of them. And if you have friends that's all in the wrong crowd, you become them. Because many a times you think you're going to influence them,
If you're the biggest fish in
That's
the pond,
something
you're in
I've
the wrong
struggled with
pond.
also.
and it turns the other way around.
Because sometimes you can genuinely love someone, but they just have habits or mannerisms that you don't want to pick up. And then you can't tell this person, I don't really like that you do this. Like, what do you do? Do you start to like distance yourself?
But the one side is you can't expect them to change because you don't like it. Maybe it's their personality, maybe it's, but if it's not something that, you want around you all the time, you love 90% of the person, it's just that one toxic behavior.
So do you let it slide or do you just like accept
I
it?
think it depends how big it is.
Yeah. What is it? Is the person doing drugs? I'd say.
No, drugs is...
I'd say.
Like
have
I
the
know a
person to
friend,
yourself.
I know of a friend who is messing in someone else's salad. That for me is too much of a big thing.
It's a no for me.
What if it's like a
So-
small thing like this girl drinks beer and you don't want to be around? Not,
No,
please guys.
there's nothing.
I think.
Like if it's like small habits
Yeah,
like
small
that.
habits.
Small
No,
habits
I
like
don't
that.
think you should. Look, if they're spending 90% of their time at your house and 90% of the, around you, then I think you at liberty to say, look, I don't really want that in my space, because then you're comfortable. But
Yeah.
if you're seeing them now and then and they're having a glass of something that you don't really, I don't think that should be something that is like a deterrent. Like
That's
it depends
also-
on the time you spend with them.
Like another thing I struggle with, I don't know how to have acquaintances or be an acquaintance. Like either we're friends or like...
Or not, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm awkward like that, like as well. Like meeting new people is, Vanjie does, which it's weird. So Vanjie will introduce me to new people, and then I'm like, okay, I don't know how to be. And then the next week we're all friends and we're all like,
Yeah.
it's like, but wasn't that a bit weird? And then the person is like, hi, how are you? I'm like, oh, okay, we're friends now. So I'm weird like that, but I'm not, because I'm naturally not someone that will text, hi, how are you? So I become awkward when the person is like a chatty person like that. So I'm
Yeah.
like, don't expect too much from me, hey.
But I also think with you saying that I think we put an ugly stigma to the word acquaintance,
Yeah.
where it doesn't have to be an ugly thing. Because when you network, you meet people that you can always call on later. They can call on you based on, hey, I got this gig, can you come? You got this gig, can I come? Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But because we labeled acquaintance to sound like it's someone I say hello to, but I
Yeah.
don't want to get
Yeah,
close.
and it's not
and
always
it's
the
not
case.
like that. I think it's just the context we got used to using it in.
I agree
but
with that.
you do need people around you, and to get somewhere in life, whether it's a contract, a business deal, or something, you need to meet people on the day to day. It's just don't automatically take it as a
Yeah.
friendship.
And in order to be a friend, you first have to be
a friend.
an acquaintance.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. An acquaintance. And the reality of the matter is we don't all know each other like that. I mean, how many people have I not met, let's say, in the last 2 weeks? We're not friends. I know of you. I don't know the same way you don't know me, but you know of me. Oh, no, that's Anka. Yeah, she's from so-and-so. And, she's married to so. I know of her. But do I know her quirks? Do I know? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's really the essence of friendship. So acquaintance, yes, I think we've really
It really has a
vilified
negative
the word,
connotation.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Let's flip it.
we have reached the end of the show. We're actually over time.
Really?
So, yes.
Let's turn
Would
back
you
the
like
hands
to
of
have any
time.
closing remarks?
Nah, I'm good. I think just say that pick your friends wisely. Make sure you've done your homework a little bit. Now, when I say that, is spend time with the person to really understand who they are before you let them into your core circle.
I agree with that.
Is that
That's
your
my
closing?
I agree.
But you were using that example now about the beer
Yeah.
and whatnot. I also think there is a fine line in terms of if your friend does enjoy having a glass of beer or their
Or
wine
alcohol
or
and you don't
whatever,
drink, for
and you don't
example.
drink, there's nothing wrong. But if your friend becomes irritating,
It's imposing on you, or she's imposing on your space.
If they're messing with your peace, then you must be.
Then that's how I feel.
When it really starts affecting you.
When it starts affecting you and you're like, oh, are we fighting again today? Are we? Then it's like a issue of. Okay.
The way I've been staring at your nails this whole time is so nice.
Thank you. Gorgeous. They're done by Tips by Taz.
Shout out.
Thank you so much for joining. I would like to end with a stolen quote that says, does your friend feed you or bleed you? That's how you choose your friend.
Very graphic.
Yeah, but it's true. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Hope to see you guys next week, and lots of love. Bye.
Bye.